WYNWOOD Magazine is here in Miami's Design District with RETNA for his gallery opening with Art Life, discussing what makes his legacy so unique. I'm your host, Zachariah Singh, and this is WYNWOOD Magazine podcast with RETNA. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Welcome to Miami.
Appreciate that.
How does it feel to be back?
Feels good. I haven't been here in about 4 years, so feels really, really good. It's been a minute.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Well, to jump right into it, your signature script, which we see here today, has become so iconic, yet it remains largely indecipherable to most. How do you view the relationship between language, secrecy, and power in your work?
Well, I've always loved the language, the written language, and looking at the scribes of back in the day, how sometimes you couldn't decipher what was actually being coded there, but you knew who was in power and what was being, sought after with what was being represented in the times and stuff like that. So I attributed a lot of my work towards that. There is some secrecy to it. There is a codex in it. And it sometimes gets to the point where, it plays a lot of homage to a lot of people that have passed and stuff like that. The actual physical aspect of it becomes a political act. And it's not necessarily what's written, it's the defiant aspect of what it is that you're doing. The secrecy isn't, I think is more in the language that it's written in, the lexicon, right? But the actual, you actually do take credit for what you do by writing your name and then having that signature pose, And then, what you're promoting is you're promoting a group of scribes that are very, very defiant and creating a culture that, people can, from the street can kind of feel like attached to.
Well, it would seem as though you've created your own power through this cryptic lexicon, all the way up to exhibiting in galleries and entering the fashion industry as well. You've transitioned from street art to high fashion collaborations and gallery exhibitions. How do you reconcile your roots in graffiti with the commercial art world?
I don't see having one without the other. I think it's very important to still do the actual physical graffiti, the vandalism. I think it's very, very important. It guides my work in the studio, and it gives it that equal balance that I need.
Speaking of vandalism, critics have labeled aspects of your career both groundbreaking and divisive. How do you personally respond to the controversy, and does it shape your creative process?
There is a divisiveness, I think, that happens within oneself, is probably more so than anything. Kind of straddling both fields, the legal aspects of things and then also the illegal aspects. A lot of your peers will kind of tend to can downplay the aspect of doing the gallery circuit, The divisive part, I think graffiti is a very, very strong sport. There's a lot of egos and a lot of different things at play. But I find it with open arms in order to do the collaborative things. I think we've been absorbing the culture of these high fashion brands, and then to be able to modify a twist to it and have them support it, I think is great.
Not only fashion culture, but also ancient world cultures as well. Much of your art draws from global cultures and ancient calligraphy. How do you navigate the fine line between cultural appreciation and appropriation?
Well, let me see here. Yeah, I'm influenced by a lot of different cultures. I try to find the similarities between them. I didn't invent the circle or the line, and that's what a lot of my work tends to kind of represent. And, the appropriation is again saying, I think it's the modification of how I compose the circle and that line, if anything, but I'm just a conduit that kind of allows it to kind of flow through me.
Wow, amazing.
Come check out the show with Art Life. It's called Carta A Mi Mismo, Letter to Myself, here at the Design District. See you there.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you today.
Yeah, likewise.